This video will identify Line Design University's position on engineering compliance, which is based on the review of all state registration and licensing statutes and conversations with 15 engineering boards. Topics covered in this video include pertinent items related to engineering compliance, which include the purpose of staking sheets, how to determine National Electrical Safety Code compliance, how selected federal regulations compare with state registration and licensing requirements, comparing the difference between distribution and transmission line design, the responsibilities of the board of directors and professional engineers, and how to achieve engineering compliance with a professional line design program. Staking sheets were developed by RUS and have been used since the beginning of the RUS program. Staking sheets lack pertinent information to perform line design calculations to verify National Electrical Safety Code compliance. The primary purpose of staking sheets is for the line crews to construct the project and for accounting to determine final work order costs. It is Line Design University's position that staking sheets are not engineering documents and should only be developed after all engineering calculations are performed, verified, and documented for National Electrical Safety Code compliance. Although most cooperatives use standards and design guidelines in the design of overhead distribution power lines, it is not sufficient to determine National Electrical Safety Code compliance. Negligence is a failure to exercise the care and skill that is practiced in a profession. Negligence is defined as a no calculation and a faulty calculation. It is Line Design University's position that professional engineers and designers have a duty to ensure designs are prepared in compliance with state registration and licensing laws and the National Electrical Safety Code. Federal Regulation 1724.30 pertains to the borrower's requirements for engineering services. It states that each borrower shall select one or more qualified persons to perform the engineering services involved in the design of the system. States identify two types of designs, which include the initial design and final design. Initial designs can be performed by unlicensed design technicians, and final designs must be reviewed and approved by a professional engineer with their seal and signature before construction. It is Line Design University's position that states identify a professional engineer as the only person qualified through education, experience, and examination to perform final designs of engineered systems. Federal Regulation 1724.4 requires professional engineers to comply with their state registration and licensing requirements. All statutes have numerous requirements, but the most important 6 requirements include obtaining and maintaining a professional engineering license and professional development hours, review and approve all final designs with seal and signature, maintain a certificate of authorization, which is required in approximately 34 states. About one-half of states require the professional engineer to be a full-time employee and stationed in the office where engineering is performed, and notify the state licensing board of any statute violations, like telecom companies attaching to power poles without an approved design. It is Line Design University's position that resident and consulting professional engineers must review and approve all designs with seal and signature before construction and obtain and maintain a certificate of authorization. Title 18, Section 1001 pertains to violations of Federal Regulation 1724.4 and identifies a cooperative who knowingly and willfully makes false statements shall be subject to penalties. The areas of concern include not having the professional engineer approve all designs with seal and signature before construction and performing engineering without a certificate of authorization if required by the state. It is Line Design University's position that professional engineers are aware to comply with their state registration and licensing law when they become licensed and are reminded to comply with their law every 2 years during license renewal. Professional engineers are a subordinate, if approved by the cooperative, performs the work order inspection approximately 6 months after construction by performing a visual inspection on a sample of work orders. The person performing the inspection reviews the construction specifications and inventory accuracy. In most cases, the person performing the inspection has no knowledge if required line design calculations were performed and probably does not take the time to perform the required line design calculations to verify National Electrical Safety Code compliance. It is Line Design University's position that the work order inspection is not identified in state registration and licensing laws as an accepted engineering procedure for the following reasons. First, visual observations to determine National Electrical Safety Code compliance is a weak engineering procedure. Second, in most cases, there is no documentation that engineering calculations were performed. Third, states require all designs to be reviewed and approved by a professional engineer with seal and signature before construction. And fourth, engineering is closed once the line is energized. Professional engineers should always migrate towards best practices to improve the integrity of engineering. The chart identifies how distribution line design decisions have not been changed since the inception of the RUS program. Design technicians are essentially making engineering decisions by experience, design guidelines, and perform very few line design calculations. Meanwhile, transmission companies always developed profile drawings and hand calculations up to the mid-1990s, then incorporated engineering software, followed by incorporating system modeling to identify and correct all safety code violations on their system. Cooperative Board of Directors have a fiduciary responsibility to comply with all state laws and federal regulations. To do this, professional engineers act as agents to the Board of Directors to fulfill all legal requirements related to engineering. Professional engineers need to be aware that state registration and licensing laws supersede financial requirements in the practice of engineering. It is also important to note that cooperatives breach their duty to the public when it violates any state law. It is Line Design University's position that professional engineers must comply with all the requirements of their state registration and licensing law. The Professional Line Design Program produces an engineering design document based on cooperative standards and design criteria, selected assemblies, and field information. The engineering design document produces a profile drawing and engineering report on 12 line design calculations per span and a signature block for the design technician and professional engineer. System modeling can be performed across the entire distribution system to identify, document, and correct all safety code violations and apply the professional engineer's seal and signature to the line sections meeting design requirements. High-quality joint-use designs based on telecom sag and tension can be produced along with posting all engineering calculation results and profile drawings on GIS overlays. The professional line design program is ideal to comply with state registration and licensing requirements for primary, secondary, and joint use designs and performing system modeling across your entire service territory.